Happy Easter, and welcome back to God's Words Ministry. This will be a 12 p.m. service, but we are doing it at 10 a.m. due to special circumstances. To start off, before I get into my resurrection egg thing I'm going to do, I'm going to light 2 candles for some people here. I might need my husband's help here in a minute. Put them back out. Anyway, got 2 candles. One for family, one for friends, or however I do it. But it is friends first. I'm going to use purple for family because my dad's favorite color. I'm a girly girl, so I'm going to do pink for friends.
Thank God that wasn't lit.
Okay, get your butt up here and help me then. Okay, there's...
You light, I hold.
I can't light, that's why I have you up here.
Oh.
I got it now. This first candle I'm lighting is for my friends spending their glorious Easter up in heaven. This is for you friends up in heaven. Put that back. And this is for my family up in heaven on this glorious Easter morning. We have a little organ over here where we're set on them because, as you can see, I got butterfingers and it hit the floor. We're going to do something called resurrection eggs. And before I get into that, I want to wish my youngest nephew, Miles Cordes, a very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Miles. And I can't sing, but we're going to sing it anyway. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Miles. Happy birthday to you. Okay, we are going to start. I've got a helper. I have a helper today. His name is Minister. The minister of the place here. So, we are going to... I have to go a little weird here right this second. We are going to change some things around here. We are going to put you and you down there. And we're going to bring the dozen of eggs up here to help with the resurrection eggs. This is called resurrection eggs. You can get it at Lifeway. Lifeway's closing, so you have to get it online. But the first egg we need is the blue egg. I'm going to read you a story from the Bible about resurrection. Well, actually, it's the eggs.
Chris, it's best to put that on the chair because it's going to keep sliding.
It's good. Got it now. Okay. I'm not going to tell you the story, the name of the story, because that's what I want you to guess, is what the story is about. Okay. If you want to follow along, this one will be in Matthew, chapter 21, verses 2 through 3 and 6 through 8. Jesus sent 2 disciples, saying to them, "Go into the village in front of you, and immediately you will find a donkey tied and a colt with her. Untie them and bring them to me. If anyone says anything to you, you shall say, 'The Lord needs them,' and he will send them at once." The disciples went and did as Jesus had directed them. They brought the donkey and the colt and put on them their cloaks, and he sat on them. Most of the crowd appeared or spread their cloaks on the road, or others cut branches from the trees and spread them on the road. Now we're going to open the blue egg, and what do we find? But what do you think are we going to find in here? In this blue egg, what do you think we're going to find? Sir? Well, what do you think the subject of this was? What were they talking about?
Talking about when Jesus gets on the donkey and rides through the village. It was talking about Palm Sunday.
Exactly. So we find the donkey in the egg. The title of this was Little Donkey. So we all know that he rode the donkey, not the colt. In here they have explanations. If you'd like explanations, you can email us at godwordsministry777@gmail.com. We can talk to you more about that. Okay, okay, this one is also in Matthew 26:14 through 16. Then one of the 12, whose name was, I don't know how to say his last name, so I'm just going to say his first name. Judas Iscariot.
Judas Iscariot. It's the guy who betrayed
We haven't got that far.
Christ.
Sorry.
I'm just explaining.
Went to the chief priest and said, "What will you guys give me if I deliver him over to you?" And they paid him 30 pieces of silver. And from that moment, he sought an opportunity to betray him. Now, what do you think's inside this pink egg? Do you think you'll find some coins? And what do the coins have to do with Easter? Think there's going to be coins in this egg? Let's find out together. Silver. Coins.
Real?
No, not real.
Oh, they're gonna.
Excuse my language. What do the coins have to do with Easter? Well, we watched The Passion of Jesus Christ last night. I had seen it before, but in this one, what happened was
There you go. Your
that-
eggs are gone.
what?
They're starting to slide off.
What?
Nothing.
They're not going any higher. Judas threw the silver coins back at the king and wanted them to release Jesus. What did you say?
I said your eggs are sliding off,
They're okay.
not your glasses.
Light purple egg, light purple, light purple. Here we go. I don't know what's in there. Okay. This will be Matthew 26, verses 27 to 28. And he took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink of it, all of you, for this is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins." Now, I got one question before we look at what's in the egg. Do you know what the promise is that he is promising us? We will find out if you stay tuned. So let's open this little purple egg and find out what's in here. It is the cup that he just referred to. Excuse me, pardon me for my open. So next could I read the orange egg? Which orange egg? That's one though. Sorry, I need to make sure because they got orange and dark here, and they can't get it right in the book. This one's going to also be, this is Mark, chapter 14, verses 32 to 34. I apologize. And they went to a place called Gethsemane. How you say it, honey?
What?
Gethsemane.
You got me.
And he said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." And he took him, Peter, James, and John, and began to be greatly distressed and troubled. And he said to them, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch." So, inside, we're going to find a thing of praying hands. So, before we go on, do you know what the promise is, sir? He sir's too busy with his daggone telephone.
No, I'll read message next time. Okay, what now?
Do you know what the promise that God is promising us is?
Eternal life.
We'll see. We're getting there. Green egg.
In hand?
This one is in John 19:1. Then Pilate took Jesus and flogged him. Another word for flogged is whipped. As we find the whip that Jesus was. This is not the real whip that Jesus was whipped with, but this is a pictation of what he would be. Okay, we are going to now do another one. Listen to this and try to guess it. I'm going to be calling on you, sir, so listen carefully.
Yeah.
This is in Mark 14:21 or 71 through 72. But Peter began to invoke a curse on himself and to swear, I do not know this man of whom you speak. And immediately the rooster crowed a second time. And Peter remembered how Jesus said to him, before the rooster crows twice, you will deny me 3 times. And he broke down and wept. So what do you think is going to be in the yellow egg, sir?
A rooster.
Okay. Funny looking rooster, but it's a rooster. It's funny looking, but it's a rooster. You are right, sir. Congratulations. We, as Christians, shall not deny Jesus
No.
in front of the Father, because he will deny us in front of... If we didn't take that back, if we deny Jesus in front of our friends, he will deny us in front of the Father. Okay, we're going to do the light orange egg now. This one. And let's see what this one's all about. Oh, my husband's going to steal this one, I can guarantee it. Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the governor's headquarters, and they gathered the whole battalion before him. And they stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and twisting together a crown of thorns, they put it on his head, and put a reed in his right hand. And kneeling before him, they mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! So what do you think is in the light orange egg, sir?
I think it might be like a little robe. What is it?
The crown of thorns.
Well, they
put the robe on him, and they put the crown of thorns on him, and then they put the thing in his hand.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not worthy to put the crown on my head, but I had to show him what it was talking about. Okay, our next egg will be light green. Easy for me to reach them all the way over there, but anyway. Please tell me there's not what I think is in here. Is in here. Okay.
Cool.
So they took Jesus, and he went out, bearing his own cross, to the place called the place of a skull, which is Armach, is called, Golgotha. There they crucified him with him and 2 others, one on each side, and Jesus between them. Do you know who the 2 people were that were beside him?
It was the one was the thief. I think one was a thief, and the other one was somebody else. But one was mocking Christ, and the other one said to him, he said, Jesus, remember me when you go into your kingdom. And Jesus said, Amen. I promise you this, that this day you will be with me in paradise.
This is the cross that Jesus, this is not the real one, but this is what Jesus bare at the cross.
Hey, KRISTA, is that metal?
Yes, honey, it's...
Good, we'll put that on that necklace.
No, we're not going to put it on a necklace. We're going to put it back in the egg and use it again sometime soon.
That reminds me, I need to keep on going out there to get something.
Do you think today people will be able to bear their own cross? I'm sorry, but I'm going to have some foam up here because this is the first time we've used the resurrection eggs. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first and of the other who had been crucified with him. But when they came to Jesus and saw that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and at once there came out blood and water. And we open up the purple egg, and out comes a spear. If you want to see a real spear, come visit us and we'll show you a real Indian spear. But here's the spear that came out of the purple egg. Light blue, no, that's light blue. Okay. I'm sorry I'm not saying the verses. If you'd like to know what verse I'm referring to, just email us. When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who also was a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate ordered it to be given to him. And Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen shroud and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had cut in the rock. And then he rolled up a great stone to the entrance of the tomb and went away. And if you were there today, do you think you could roll that stone away? I don't think it could. Here is a clean linen cloth, a piece of clean linen cloth that was a depiction of what it looked like, what Jesus was wrapped in by Joseph. So as I close this egg and put it back, we'll do the next one. The next one is the pink egg. I thought we just had pink egg. Let me make sure this is what it's supposed to be. I think so. Okay, like I said, or do you think you could roll the stone away? That's our next subject, is stone. Hey, now. Shut up. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone and sat on it. His appearance was like lightning, and his clothing white as snow. And for fear of him, the guards trembled and became like dead men. Well, here's the stone. It's not big enough for me to sit on, but that's the stone that they're talking about. If I were to sit on that egg, or on this stone, excuse me, I might break it. We've already gone through all the eggs. I think we went through them all. Maybe expedient. Okay, we're on our last egg now, which is this white egg. Oh, KRISTA, shouldn't say it. Okay. But the angel said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. For he is risen," and he said, come see the place where he lay." Okay, what do you think will be inside this egg, sir? What do you think will be inside this white egg, the last egg? We're going to open up the white egg. What does that represent? The empty tomb. The empty tomb. So I don't think we did all these eggs. Whoa! But anyway. Is Easter the day of the resurrection, the day that Jesus was, he rose from the dead today and ascended into heaven, and he sits at the right hand of the Father, God Almighty. From there he shall come to judge the quick and the dead. Now, sir, what do you think of when you think of resurrection?
Resurrection, being pulled out of the dead, living again.
Do you believe that you will live again?
Yes.
Not here on earth, but up in heaven.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question here. If any of our viewers on Facebook and YouTube want to be born again, will you help them recite, not right now, but if they email us and tell us this, that they want to be born again, will you help them recite the sinner's prayer?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well,
If you'd like to be born again, you may email us, call us, whatever, and we'll get back to you. Just email us your phone number and your name, and we will help you out as much as possible. Okay. This is just a real quick illustration of the birth and the death of Jesus. He was born in what was a manger. That's hay, for all of you who don't know what I'm doing. That's Jesus as a baby. He's born in a manger. He traveled a road that had a lot of ups and downs in it. So he got to this point, and that's when he was put on the cross and killed. Now, my last question before I close is, do you think you could do what Jesus did? Don't want any answers on that, just do you think you could do what Jesus did? If you were in that position, do you think you could go through the beatings and the torment and the spitting on and the ridiculing and everything that Jesus did? Do you think you could go into the temple and overturn those tables that are in your churches and your synagogues and wherever you go, and they're trying to sell you this and they're trying to sell you books or bracelets or whatever they're trying to sell you? Do you think you could go in there and turn the table up? Do you think...
You do that in a church now, you go to jail.
Do you think you could preach to people who may not be listening to you? Do you think that you could have, do you think you could ride a donkey? We're all so used to today's technology. Cars, computers, cell phones. Could you go back and live just... My challenge for anybody out there to take this challenge is for 24 hours. And please don't do this if you have to work, because I don't want to be getting phone calls from employers saying, hey, you told my employee to do this. I didn't tell you to do this. This is a challenge I ask you to do on a day that you are off for 24 hours. Live like Jesus did. Preach to people. Don't live on technology. Now, I know we can't technically walk places today because of the crime and of all the bad things that are in the world. So cars, I'll accept that. But live like Jesus did. Preach. Don't use technology. Don't use your cell phones.